After watching the video about making fun of networking, I'm going to bring you back to something that I think is probably more important about networking. That style of networking from that video about being desperate and needy and trying to find a job from someone, that is not fun. There is no way that that can be entertaining and in any way memorable as a positive thing. But what I would like to suggest to you is think about networking as learning about people you've never met before, because most people are more than happy to talk about themselves and about what interests them. It's a chance to practice approaching people that you don't yet know. It's a chance to approach people in situations in the lineup at the store, at a business event, in passing a conversation, you're sitting on a bus. You never know when a person you put in your network is going to be of importance to you. It could be 10, 20 years down the road. Networking is really gossip with a nice frame around it, because people always, for as long as I think humans have been speaking, we like to know what's happening with other people and what's happening. This is the process, but networking puts it in the context of, this is how I'm going to help someone else, and maybe one day they will help me. Every person you connect with, you then are connected with the people in their networks. And the idea is that friends of friends might help you one day. And sometimes it's the people 2 or 3 connections away from you who may actually be able to, oh, I remember that person, I heard a job. It's amazing how little things can stick in people's minds and you never know when it's going to come up, especially if they have a positive impression of how you helped them in a situation. Have a strategy about your networking for business and for career. Actually sit down and think about what type of person, if you have this job in mind or a career in mind, you probably want to add people or work towards connecting to people who are already in that industry. That's where LinkedIn can be quite helpful. You can do it virtually, but you might even just call a company and say, could I drop by and just learn about this? I'm a student in cloud data management, and I'm wondering, what's the market like? What's the world like in the IT world of SharePoint and online database stuff? Can I talk with you a little bit to learn? You're not asking for a job, you're asking to learn. So connect with friends and family, coworkers, who you've worked with before, you work with now, classmates. Keep in touch with the people that you meet in school, because you never know, they may be working someplace else 10 years down the road and you're in connection. Hey, I've heard about a job. Would you be interested in this? You never know. And it'll never happen unless you maintain the connections. Be friendly, be helpful. It's a very long game. This is a lifetime. And do not go into this with a mindset, I need a job, I need someone who's going to give me a job. That will turn people off. If you can, my preference is always to think about meeting in real life, talking with people in real life, because then you can see the whole view of the person. And it might spark other conversation. You might have a common thing standing in line at the grocery store that might be the conversation starter, and then you move back over to a more general conversation. However, LinkedIn, discussion groups on LinkedIn, you can meet people in there and offer information as well. But I would encourage you to work on both sets of skills. Learn how to talk to people in real life and be curious. Be so curious. Ask about them. Don't talk about yourself. If you're talking in a conversation, somebody else has to listen to you. It's better that you're the one listening, because people like being listened to. That makes people feel important. That, oh, this person's taking time to hear what I'm saying and is curious. I think that's a rare thing anymore, because everybody is so rushed. The fact that someone takes time to have a conversation with someone, I would say, is a golden thing in today's culture, at least in North American culture. Be remembered for the person who listens and takes time for other people. That's unusual. And be fun, but don't do things that might annoy people that you're trying to connect with, but have humor. Be self-effacing. Be humble. Realize the real world is a bumpy place and we're all in it together, and I think most people respond well to that. You can network in social media, all social media, not just LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is a place where it's more structured. But remember, everybody can see you on LinkedIn and on Facebook and on Twitter and whatever other social media that you're involved in. Remember that what you present there will never go away, and people will judge you, good or bad. So think about how you're presenting yourself online, just like how you present yourself in person in front of the owner of a company where you might wish to work one day. So networking tips and tricks. Have a toolkit, business cards. They sound very old school and old fashioned, but I still think they have value because they're easy to have. I keep some in my wallet to always have one to hand out. I would add my Twitter handle to it. I got to get a new batch of business cards to do that. I have a website I have on there, my LinkedIn account. I have that information. That's good to have on a card, because sometimes people just save the card. It will still fit in a wallet, or they might take a picture of it, but you have the information in one spot. Before you go to an event, do a little research. Have some things to talk about that people may wish to be talking about at that meeting to start the conversation. And have a bit of an elevator pitch. Practice that elevator pitch. Be ready. Be ready to talk confidently about yourself when somebody asks about you, and then turn the conversation back to them. Think about trade shows. There are some links here. The links will be in the PowerPoint in the class shell. But locally, there's tech, Communitech locally is the tech advocacy group. They have meetings online and in person. In person are coming back now in 2022. Use Eventbrite. Go onto Eventbrite and search for networking in your area, or in your networking and what kind of networking you wish to search for. You may find online events or real life events. Meetup as well. There are lots of potential business meeting groups in there, local chambers of commerce, and the My Career Services at Conestoga. The student support services, they also run at least once a year in partnership with other local universities, job fairs. Keep in contact with the My Career Services at Conestoga to keep you aware of information and opportunities. Practice your elevator pitch. I'm going to keep saying it. It's a great skill to have. Be ready. Be ready to use your elevator pitch. But most of all, get out there and be proud of who you are. List off all your skills. List off all the things you've done. Sit down and do it, and make that victory book of your own. Keep working at being proud of who you are, confident in who you are. Join Toastmasters. Practice public speaking. Whenever you have an opportunity, ask people questions. Curiosity is a life skill, and that can help you in networking to potentially find jobs you didn't know about because someone remembers you. Take care. I'll catch you back in class.